Hello YouTube, this is Ben Yesel. So, this video is going to be about just kind of a few thoughts comparing older video games to newer ones. By the way, it's Friday about 10:40 p.m. Um, in April, mid-April. I remember some of the first games I ever played were Pac-Man, Missile Command. There's five of them. There's Pac-Man, Missile Command, Star Raiders. Um, I think Frogger. Not sure. But then of course, maybe had a few other like old Atari 800 cartridges. And then we had some games from that my grandpa sent us that were on discs, and I remember playing Joust and Miner 49er and Archon, and I loved Archon, and also oh geez, I don't think we had Q-Bert. No, at least it never worked too well, but I think there's Defender, Centipede, um, Frogger. Let's see. There's like some car racing games. We later on had a baseball game. We had a Olympics game, I think, and then a bunch of other ones. A lot of other ones. But a lot of them didn't really work so well. Oh, and then some educational games, like an alphabet game, a whole bunch of other ones. But a lot of these games, well, we had Phobos and some other, some more kinds of things. But a lot of the early games, say I'm talking more about Atari, when you got to a new stage in a level, it was a big thing because of how hard they were. And this was a lot of times it was just a hand-eye coordination kind of thing. Most games were hand-eye coordination based. Some of them were a little different, of course, but the skill involved, hand-eye coordination skill to get to the next stage was hard enough a lot of times that you just were like, oh yeah, the feeling of getting to that next stage was just so satisfying. Some games didn't really have a clear ending. Of course, I know about Pac-Man and the point at which I don't know. There was that one guy that got to the point where he had a split screen, had put like code on one side or something. It was weird. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, like, so my parents didn't let us play Nintendo. They didn't let us play Sega. There were a lot of computer games and systems that I just didn't play because we just weren't allowed to play them. So I was more at certain friends' houses when I was younger. We had an IBM when I was in my teen years. My parents were okay with us having some games on. And at that point, this was now mid-90s more. And I remember playing Myst a little bit. I never beat the game, never finished the game. But it was interesting. My brother might have been a little bit more into it than I was, but we had like a roller coaster simulation game. It wasn't roller coaster. This is pre roller coaster tycoon. This would have been like I don't know, coaster or something. I don't know. And then we had like some other kind of demo games, like Stunt Island. I remember having the earliest internet servers, AOL and Prodigy, and some other ones, CompuServe. I remember that stage, and then a few other ones. Yahoo was not too far. Yeah. But there was a game called Mad Maze that was on Prodigy. I remember playing a little bit. Um, that was pretty fun. I remember when one of my friends brought over Loom for the first time, and I was just engrossed in how beautiful the graphics were, and everything. The idea of going different places, like an adventure game. And I remember that the first games that were fantasy games with text adventures and called MUDs or something, or multiplayer. I don't know, something involving you had your teams and servers and things. And I remember when that first started getting going in the 90s. Some of the earliest games. It's all in my memory, but and gosh, I mean, yeah. And then still in the 90s, late 90s, though, I remember playing when I this was played Legend of Grandia, Baldur's Gate, and this was getting into 2000s a little bit, and The Wheel of Time, and there's some other ones that we were playing that were still really good back then. My brother kind of liked Doom in the 90s and Quake. I never really got into those games, but I remember them. Wolfenstein. Yeah, that was other folks, but I might have played a few times. Never really cared for those kinds of games as much, but I loved Baldur's Gate. I loved Loom. But Loom and Legend of Grandia, I liked their graphics much more than the gameplay. Was frustrating sometimes. But I loved Baldur's Gate. I loved Wheel of Time. Those games were great. Just awesome games. And the other games that were, I played one of the King's Quest games too, and yeah, I mean, so the late 90s, early 2000s, were just amazing. Plus, some of the SimCity games started getting into a little bit. So, to tell you the truth, I stopped really doing games more seriously, or really some few years back. Played them, but very recreationally, just not very intensely. A number of reasons why. One of them is just that there's nothing. You get, it's true. It's similar with movies, but I've already played some amazing games. Now I know so many other things I would like to do still, and I've put out a lot of videos already in this regard. I still will in the future. There's so many things that you can do still with video games. I still have hope, but but there's just not very many things that seem really that interesting. Now, there was a game I've recommended that I'll still try soon, but I play video games a little differently than I used to. Just kind of careful about time management, and I'm just better at managing my time. And there was a time when it was harder to do that. I loved just spending as much time as possible playing games. Sometimes I remember that time. There's a time when I was like that, and I can't afford to do that, But it's great playing for a while. Of course, if it's a game that you really enjoy, and most games are just not like that. 99.99% of all games now are dumb. And there's that throwback to the arcade games that are on iPhones and Androids. The ones that are all the jewel games and all the card games, right? And there's online games that are the same thing. There's a bunch of games. There's millions of games that are not very complicated. Programmers have made just smaller budget, smaller games. And a lot of times they are a throwback. Sometimes to arcade games. Arcade games are a little different, but the arcade games I remember, the original arcade games I remember being have a certain quality about it I liked, you know. But that was when I was like, 6, 7, years old. So there's amazing. You haven't played it before, especially when nobody else has. So anyway, my door just opened automatically. So basically, in a nutshell, old games versus new games. Sorry, that's my roommate. Old games versus new games. New games being everything that's come out since, I don't know, 2010. I think that's a little bit unfair. We'll say old games, middle games, new games. The old games, to me, are nostalgic. Absolutely. But the Atari games. The middle games, from the mid-90s on to 2000s. They're the best. The new games stink. Even though the graphics are amazing. It's as simple as that. I know there's still games like The Witcher and other games you gotta try. But a lot of things I've talked about with Hollywood, I've mentioned this before with other videos too. There's a lot of cruddy video games out there. Alright, leave me your thoughts and comments below. Talk to you soon.